You know, the official podcast actually does have bonus episodes that they do on Patreon, but not like a continuation of the next. As soon as they start doing that shit, I will drive my ass down to Florida to Moist Critical's house
and slap Charlie.
And be like, oh, Nintoonist, what are you doing in my house, you fucking ectoplasmic Danny Phantom sperm cell? What did you do to my dogs? Why is there water on my remote control for my lights inside my computer?
How would you feel if, like, you whipped out your cock, right? To,
in
like,
front of Critical?
Yeah, but then afterwards he just whips out his cock and it's actually bigger than yours.
His dick is probably fucking massive. Let's be fucking real for a second. That guy's a fucking Giga Chad, my friend.
Super big dick energy right there.
You guys gotta stop impersonating me, Critical. You all are adopting my personality faster than Angelina Jolie adopts kids.
You do that voice.
Welcome to the Double D Experience, everybody. This is a different podcast that we're doing.
So,
I'm David.
Yeah, guys, we got
Joined
Charlie.
by Dennis.
We got Charlie. We got Moist Critical in the house right now. He decided to guest star with us on this episode today.
Amber Heard's lawyers have had to have been snorting dick on top of a penis. The amount of drugs that had to have been snorted in their nostrils had to have been on par as a combination of Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash's fucking ectoplasmic sperm cell baby.
You know, she probably had drugs on her and probably shared it with her lawyers. She's like, hey, you want some? It's like right before the trial.
Probably.
It's like hey, you want... I don't even know how she sounds like. Hey, you want some cocaine?
Truly the trial of the century happening before us. Go subscribe to my esports team, Moist Esports. We picked up a lot of Smash players. That's not a joke. He actually did
I know.
It's just so wild.
It's because I'm laughing because like you're just stating facts. That's the thing.
Not even a challenge so far. Oh, bringing out my boomstick. Alright, whatever, we're done. So I have a bit, I guess I have a bit of a story to open up with, if we can go with that. It's nothing like a massive story. This is called David's job interview story, and also his crippling depression.
Which
I have crippling depression.
Which guys, if you didn't know, crippling depression is all the rage these days. Like all the cool kids got it. Like,
yeah,
all the people you thought were well adjusted in life all got it too. So, like, you know, it's pretty cool to be.
I mean, that sort of has to do with another thing that I was going to talk about, which I guess I'll combine with my thing and being an ambivert. That is something I've realized about myself recently, right? I tweeted some sad boy shit on my main recently, which was stupid. I mean, I don't have an alternate Twitter. I mean, I have like the Double D podcast. I don't have a private Twitter because, no disrespect, I think private Twitters are kind of for pussies because like they just sort of. I find way more often than not they're used to just talk mad shit about people that you're too scared to say on your timeline. And that's not cool. Or just that you know, like, if you say on main, you'll lose followers, which I guess I just don't give enough of a shit about because occasionally I do that. I bailed on hanging out with a bunch of my coworkers recently. They all went to a bowling alley, and we were gonna go. I didn't want to bowl because the last time I went bowling, I was out with this girl, and I hurt my back a little bit doing it because, you know, shut the fuck up, Dennis. I hurt my back a little bit because, like, it's a heavy ball, and I guess I was stunting myself a little too much, and I didn't want to do that again. So I was just gonna go, and I was gonna drink, but I just last minute really I went home and decided not to do it because I was in a fucking shiitake mushrooms mood. Have you ever eaten so many shiitake mushrooms and you're in such a shit mood that you just don't fucking feel like being around anybody? Like your social battery's already drained before you even hang out with anyone?
Oh, this is an actual question. I thought you were being rhetorical for a second.
Yes and no. Because I guess it is rhetorical because I know you've been like that as well. Sometimes, not in a way.
Oh, repeat.
Where you know, your social battery just gets drained, or you just don't feel like hanging out with people.
Well, the thing is, it gradually drains since the start of the night. So if I am with, like, let's say friends, or even sometimes, like, you know, like friends of friends, like there's also that too. Like it's just people that like I only know through that friend of mine. So it's like I got no connection with them really, like at this point. But I'm still gonna be nice and all that, and like, you know, obviously like still be, you know, civil.
Yeah, no, same.
not gonna start fights with my friends, acquaintances, and shit.
Yeah, definitely not gonna be too belligerent, I guess. But sometimes when I get in a bad mood, I'm like, I could just be that way, and I try not to be, or be. What's up?
But do you just like shut down though? Like, do you just
like,
kind of like, let's say if the start of the night you were kind of like, he's like, yeah, and then afterwards you just kind of like.
I mean, I let people know that I don't fucking feel like talking. Like, I had this one friend who, like, kept trying to, like, ask me what was wrong and cheer me up. I'm like, I literally told her, like, I am not in the fucking mood to talk. Please leave me alone. And eventually she fucked off. I had to tell her, like, 3 times. I hate people who, like, won't fuck off when they do shit like that. I mean, it's my own fault for being a stick in the mud, but what I've realized about myself is that I just didn't feel like going, so I didn't force it. And even though I know I made the right decision, I had a tiny bit of FOMO, but not really. So I tweeted something on my fucking Twitter and on my Facebook and whatnot, all this stuff, because like a lot of people and a lot of like young people at my work and at Smash tournaments and you know stuff like that, fucking they tell me all sorts of things, right? They like, what are the things that they tell me? Like some people go like. Hold up, I'm having a hard time fucking. Why can't I find this on here right now? Hold on. Yeah, it's like I had this one young coworker. He's like 20 or whatever, and he really likes that I do esports stuff, and he keeps talking about how confident I always am and stuff like that. And I'm just like, my dude, I fucking hate myself half the time. Not to like, I do mean that literally half the time. I'm like, the biggest mistake that people make about me is that they think I'm, like, always, like, super extroverted and that I love people.
Yeah, you just, like, animated all the fucking time. Like, you just, like, all, like, gung-ho, like, yo, let's do this stuff. But then no one actually knows the real truth. Word.
That is not true. Like, that is literally not true, right? Because, like, it's half the time. That is true. You know what I mean? Like, hold on. What I'm trying to say here is that, like, it's just one of the most common mistakes people make about me. I just know how to carry myself, and I'm a people pleaser by nature. I am not an extrovert. Like, I get anxious sometimes in, like, social scenarios. Like, a lot of my coworkers literally want to go to a strip club in, like, 2 weeks or whatever, and, like, I've never been to a strip club, so I was thinking about it, but at the same time, I'm just like, am I really gonna be happy there? If I'm gonna vibe, I'm gonna have, like, you know, like, women, they're allowed to touch me as much as they want, but I can't fucking touch them. Yeah. And so it's like they turn you on, but you're not allowed to reciprocate. Yeah. Which I think is kind of dumb. Not to mention the awkwardness of just getting all that shit, like, in front of a bunch of people as well. Like, I don't know. It's like, I thought I was an anxious introvert who just hates being alone. But that's not true. Sometimes I enjoy being alone. So I realized, what is it? What is going on right here? So I put that same thing on my Facebook, and this woman who I used to work for as an internship many years ago, who does like all this anti-bullying campaigns like for kids and whatnot and for autistic children, told me like from one ambivert to another, here's a big hug sending to you. And I'm like, is that what that is? Oh, I'm gonna start using that term all the fucking time now. Oh my good gracious, I have a label? I feel so validated.
And David, you already know how I feel about labels.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I think they're pussy shit, honestly.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But I mean, you know, to each their own. To each their own.
I mean, I can understand you saying that if it's like something completely outlandish.
But it's like if you make it your whole fucking identity. If you
use it as an excuse.
Yeah, because if I hear you use this word more than 10 times a day, I'm also going to tell you, like, David, you got to really calm down with that word.
Well, Dennis, I'm an ambivert, so, like, if I'm not in the mood to record, even if it's the only day we can record this week, I kind of have just to not do it, you know? Sorry.
It's your one ambivert for the I have a counter.
Ambivert.
Dude, there's I have a limit with like certain things because it's
let me say what that is real quick before you go off right there. And
no one cares what your made up word means.
It's not a made up word. What are you talking about? Joking. It's not a fucking made up word. Okay, so an ambivert, and this is something I pretty much already knew about myself. Like, I am both an extrovert and an introvert. It fucking 10,050 and a half fucking 420 69% is based entirely on my fucking mood
and the circumstance. Like,
if I'm in a good mood, like, I'll be like, I'm an extrovert. I'll do the thing. I'll sing karaoke. Like, I'll grind up on some girl, whatever. It's like, and then other times I just don't feel like talking to anybody, and I want everybody who speaks to me to fuck off and die.
Yeah.
I have no in between.
Yeah,
I realize that now. I don't, and that's what an ambivert is. It's somebody who is literally extroverted and very extroverted and very introverted, just completely dependent on their mood. And when I'm in a good mood, I can be really extroverted.
Yeah.
When I'm in a bad mood, everybody fuck off, leave me alone, and please kill yourselves. That's where I'm. That's where I'm at. Pretty much. That's literally me. And I'm so happy to know that I'm just not fucking insane. It's like I feel like this is like my weird like little hetero way of like finding a label. Like to all my bisexual bitches listening to this podcast right now. You know how some of you are bi and you have like a slight curve in the other direction. Like I'm bisexual, but like I like women a little bit more. I lean towards that way. Well, that's me with being an extrovert and being an introvert. Sometimes it just literally depends on my mood.
So basically, David means he's a bisexual with his moods.
Sure. Let's go with that.
He's bi-moodial.
I'm bi-moodial.
Why couldn't they say? Why couldn't they say that instead of ambivert? Ambivert, because David, remember what I told you? What I thought ambivert honestly meant to me, like when I first heard it. Because like guys, when, before we started recording, like from at this point, like I guess 15 minutes ago, like David mentioned the word because like we have our Google Docs up there, and David mentioned the word ambivert, and I literally like, well, he didn't mention it because like I just saw it up there in the Google Docs, and I was just kind of like, what the fuck does that mean? And then I
So he eats both meat and plants.
like
what the fuck?
Like I raised my hand figuratively, like a kid at school. Like he's like, you know, what the fuck does that mean? Like, because like I never heard the word before. So when he mentioned it, I was like, oh, you know, like how like, you know, when you find something out that like is like at least mildly interesting, and you're just kind of like, oh, that's what that means, right? You know, that's how it usually sound. But then, you know, I was like half debating about whether or not I wanted to tell David what I actually thought it meant, because it sounded eerily like Amber Heard. So I thought this was like what Amber Heard's like stans were calling themselves now. So like I was just like, and you know, you could call me like a retard in that respect, because you know it is like I woke up fairly early this morning, so like my day's already like halfway through for me in my brain. So like, you know, and you know, like when you get to that halfway mark in the day, it's just kind of like, you know, like I just want to go fucking home. Like, but I'm already home, so it's
halfway
like,
left in the tank.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, there's no punchline to that. I was just being stupid because like I was just like jumping to conclusions like an idiot.
Yeah.
Thinking that an actual, I guess it would be like a medical term or something, like, you know, was actually completely something else than I thought it was. So.
And might I say that my disappointment was absolutely immeasurable, that in any reality or capacity that Dennis thought I was a fucking Amber Heard simp. In any fucking way, shape, or form.
But based off of at least the Google Docs, I didn't think that. I didn't think that this was about you. I thought it was just basically talking about this group in general, and then how stupid one looks being like part of that group. That was just me. But I mean, I'm gonna put my also 2 cents in here too, because I feel this way too in a lot of like sort of in a lot of surroundings and also a lot of circumstances. Like
I remember you at the New Year's party. Like at a certain point, like you and Genesis were just chilling there, and you were just like, there's like nothing left in the tank.
Yeah, it's just like if let's say
I was hugging Dane because of course he was fucking crying.
Yeah.
And Dennis wasn't gonna do it because he was already tapped out. I'm like, fine.
There was David had to pick up the slack.
We love you, Dane.
Yeah, we love you too, Dane.
We love you, Daney. Waiting. I cry too sometimes.
Yeah, like we all do.
I'm an ambivert.
Yeah, like we all do. Like stifling your emotionality like that ain't good for you. But but that's the thing with me, at least. Like, you know, I swear, like I think psychologists would probably hate me. Like, not because that, like, you know, I would be like a fucking terrible person to like psychoanalyze, but like I would give them nothing to work with, because it's just kind of like, well, he seems well adjusted, and it's just like, oh, I just wasted my fucking like $50 per hour.
A lot
here.
of well-adjusted people go to therapy, my friend. Sometimes
I know.
they just need guidance and help.
But I would be making fun of them the whole fucking time. Like I would be the one like cracking jokes to them, to their face, because at least the way I kind of think about psychology, I do take it seriously. Obviously, I don't like think like if you're a person that needs it, that you don't need to go to it. Of course you should, but it's just like, at least for me, I never at least reached that like that line where if you cross it, then it's like, okay, time to go see a psychologist, or it's time to see time to see that like fucking specialist, to help you to unfuck your mind. Yeah. And at least, I mean, I've had times where I was just like, man, maybe I should go see one, like, but it's like the moment you kind of think about it too, like, because a lot of the times, like, I like to at least think I was able to at least get through some of my shit, or at least a lot of my shit, like, on my own. And obviously, like, I have friends and like family that would like help support me if I ever did need it. But it's like I feel, not that it is a sign of weakness if you don't take care of your own shit when by yourself, but it's like you should at least try to kind of take care of it. And more often than not, I found out that a lot of the shit that I was dealing with wasn't really that big to begin with. Like, it wasn't crazy, like, monumental, like, kind of like, crippling depression, like, type of shit. Like, it was just, like, because, like, I mean, I have and everyone's got
sometimes
their moods.
Even simply just talking to somebody about something is, like, even if they don't solve your problem, quote unquote, or whatever, is enough to make you feel better. And, like, I used to bottle up a lot of shit. And even sometimes I still don't really talk to people much about anything. Like, I don't talk to my parents about much, or even my friends really about shit. I just kind of feel things out, wait them out, and I'll talk to somebody a little bit, if people reach out or whatever, stuff like that. But I used to be way worse with that. I used to never talk to anybody about anything, and I'm a little bit better now. But that's the kind of stuff that school shooters are made of. It's when they don't talk about their problems, and as a result, they think that like dominating people, dominating people physically by hurting them is a way for them to like get like levity at their power, when in actuality resisting violent urges that's what makes you a man. Yeah. That's what makes you stronger. And that's what happens when guys don't talk about their emotions,
And just to add to that too, because like, it's, at least for me, like, I also have my days where I don't want to talk to nobody.
Yeah.
I've had times when,
and that's fine.
Yeah. I've had times where like my siblings like would come in, and like they would just always come into my room to like bother me. And, like, not to like actually maliciously bother me, but just kind of like, it's like, I am here to annoy you, like, type of thing. Mm-hmm. But then I would just be like, I don't want to see nobody right now. And they just walk out and they leave. And here's the thing, like, I love them for that, because I think I've even had a moment where I wanted to say this, but I kind of went against it. But there were times where I wanted to say, you have no idea how much I would love you if you just if you were just not in front of me right now. Mm-hmm. Like, and people think, oh, it's like, oh, he's an asshole. Like, what the fuck? Like, like, I'm just here to blah, blah, blah. And so it's like, look, listen, what you're bringing right now is not what I need. That's the thing. And that's all anyone has to, like, take from it. That's it. What you're bringing right now is not what I need. That's it. There's nothing else that's, like, deeper than that, really. That we just don't want to see you right at this moment. That's it. We don't want, like...
Do not take it personally.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's not like anything bad is going to happen to me if you don't, like, feel responsible for solving my problems right now. Sometimes it's literally just better to not do it. Like, when I was with my coworkers, man, I was in zero mood to be social. I would have brought people down if I was there. I literally wanted to go just to drink at the bar. That's literally all I wanted to do, and I didn't wind up doing that because the place was going to close soon regardless anyway. I just was not in the mood, so I bailed. Like, that's it, and that's okay. Sometimes it's not like, you don't always have to be social. You don't always have to put yourself out there. It's not always healthy to be an extrovert all the time. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you get, like, good things out of that. You meet people, you make connections or whatever, you have healthy experiences. But sometimes if you want to be by yourself, that's not always an unhealthy thing. Sometimes that's just better, And
also, if you have a friend that is like that, trust me when I say they will love you infinitely more if you just leave them the fuck alone. Trust me. And it is nothing against you. It has nothing to do with you. They're just having some shit. They want to deal with them by themselves. And if that is the case, leave them the fuck alone. It is that simple. It has nothing to do with you. Really.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely nothing to do with you. This is all about them.
Yeah.
And what they're fucking going through. So that's why, like, you know, if I really want to just sort of really nail this shit home to you guys, at least personally for me, I like to be alone, but I don't like to be by myself. I've said this multiple times on here, and like I've also said it to David as well. Like, there are times when, yeah, like like I always joke, if you want to be here, just stay in the corner, out of my view, and just stay quiet. If you really want to be there with me, don't say anything. I don't want to see you. You could be there. You could be up in the vents. You could look down on me from
You could be being fucking sus.
Yeah,
you could be up in the vents.
You could be up there. I don't give a shit. I just don't want to see you. That's about it. I've had times too where I even told my girlfriend, like, oh, I don't really feel like talking, and I just want to be alone for like a day or two. Literally, and she's like, okay, fine, and she gets it. Guys, trust me. Get yourself a girl that could literally leave you alone when they tell you that you want to be left alone. Trust me. Like, that is a skill that even, let's say, I think for a lot of, like, you know, if what the two girls that like they are watching this, like, you know, that's a skill that y'all need to learn, to like leave your man the fuck alone when he tells you to leave him alone.
I know Ego Raptor gets like that. They've talked about that on Game Grumps, and you know Susie just knows that about him and whatnot. And they, you know, I mean, if it's like elongated and it lasts a while, and it's like, you know, weeks he's not talking to you or whatever. It's been like a week. He still doesn't know. That means something more serious is wrong. Like, it's different. And again, I'm not saying, you know, like your child is exhibiting horrible behaviors. He's looking at pictures of fucking assault rifles on Google Images, and he keeps like crying in his room about that girl that he's never spoken to because he never had the balls. Different story, because again, that's the fucking mathematical algebraic formula that it creates a school shooter. There are more extreme cases where like somebody is like, you know, you got to look and see if something is wrong. But like I said, sometimes people are introverts and sometimes people are extroverts. And what I've learned about myself is that it literally just completely 100% depends on my mood. If anything, my current job has taught me that. And the job that I passed out on recently would not have taught me that either. And I want to tell this story real quick because the end of this story, Dennis, is actually going to segue into a topic that you want to talk about. So that's why I wanted to bring.
Okay, go.
Oh, it's true. Believe me. So, I applied for a job recently. Did not take it. Because the job, I did a lot of calculations and it turned out the job was not worth it. I will get back to that in a minute. But it was to be a merchandiser job for a Bev. For a Bev company, right? No glizzies, just Bev.
But can we possibly say the Bev company or no?
I'd rather not. I'd rather not, just in case of like.
Okay.
No. You're gonna know who the Bev company is because I'm gonna show you.
Haven't you told me already? I could have sworn you did.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It's David with no Bev.
I'm gonna mouth it real quick.
You whispered it, you dumbass.
Just lower my fucking voice. Just put it in post. Okay.
Yes.
So guys, essentially, if you want a hint, it is a Bev company whose price has been almost stubbornly consistent for the last God knows how many fucking decades.
For a particular tea named after a particular state
that nobody likes.
Yeah, I mean, facts. Arizona State University. Whatever, you figured it out at this point. So, I went to the interview. And I gotta tell you, this fucking, I went to the, I was gonna be a merchandiser for them, right? So I was gonna drive around and just merchandise the Bev. And so I went to the warehouse that they had down there, and this place was humongous. I was fucking like, let me show you. Because I got lost on the way to that interview to the point where a man had to draw me a map. Give me 1 second. Dennis, this is that map.
What the fuck?
You see this shit?
I mean, look, Nintoonist, I don't know if you even got this like appliance, but like if you got a scanner and you could like just put like that as a JPEG like on the fucking podcast.
I went to the fucking front place where they told me to go, drove around like a jackass for about fucking 15-20 minutes. They told me to go to the front lobby where that was. I went to the front lobby. They got Arizona stickers. everywhere and like a giant Arizona chandelier. This company has money. And so I'm talking to the lady like, I'm here for an interview, blah, blah, blah. Can you send the people down for me? Like, oh, look, we'll get them for you. I'm like, cool. They call me again. They tell me I'm on the wrong side of the building. I'm like, you said to go to the front lobby. I'm like, oh, the other front lobby, basically. It's like on like the other side of the place. And so they had to, I'm like, oh, so I had to drive all the way around the place again. I'm driving around where all these trucks were, and this fucking dude comes up to me, and he's just like, are you lost? And I'm like, yeah, like, I'm definitely lost. He was gay. And, and so this motherfucker literally gives me a map and draws to where I'm supposed to go. Again, Dennis, this is that map.
Good
where
Lord.
you see how big this fucking place was? It was crazy. Look at these directions.
Yeah, I wish you guys could see this. Like there's a lot of X's on that fucking map for some reason. I'm like, is that where the treasure is? Like, what the fuck? Arizona's got like a stash that they hid somewhere? Like, what the fuck? Like,
I honestly, I mean, I went to the warehouse and like I was interviewed by the people. All went well and whatnot. I mean. And it was a really cool view of like all the cans and whatnot. I don't have a back to be a warehouse worker, not that I want to do that anyway. So whatever, we signed on. They told me how much the job would pay. I'm like, gonna give me a few days. I got some pending offers, blah blah blah, and it all went good to go. Everything was straight up forward. So I walked downstairs, right, and this sort of correlates to me being an ambivert. If you would, I walk downstairs, go to the lobby. They show me the way out of the building, right? But I gotta go to the bathroom, and it's a relatively long drive home. So I'm like going to the bathroom, right? I walk into the bathroom. And therein lies, without a single trace of doubt, the sexiest woman I've ever seen in my life. The fucking, I'm not even kidding. Like,
just like a complete knockout?
Complete fucking total knockout. It was this Latin woman with like this slender body and fucking ridiculously fat titties, like, and low cut like top too, so you could like even see like the whole thing. Like I could like, and I'm tall too, so I could see it from like the top view from the back.
Did she have like an office sort of like getup?
Not even. She was dressed like very casually in a little bit of a revealing outfit as well, which is what brought it to me. And I was like, holy fuck. This woman, no.
David was starting to question his like, it's like, maybe I should work here.
No, dude, I literally felt like you when we were talking about Chell. I was screaming at like into the phone at one of my fucking coworkers at my current job. I'm like, yo, why did God make the lines like that? Why did he make the curves like that, bro? Like, it was actually like existentially messing with me. It was a cleaning lady. She was cleaning the bathroom.
No
like,
fucking way.
Yeah, it was. It was a cleaning lady who was cleaning the bathroom. It was just this Latin woman, like, who was cleaning the bathroom, and she's like telling me like, oh, like I'm almost done in here in a minute. I'm like, oh, that's cool or whatnot. And then she goes into the closet, and I'm just striking up a conversation with her, like, oh, I just interviewed for a job upstairs. She's like, oh, are you gonna take it? I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about it. How do you like working here? Like, just mindless, trivial small talk. And then she tells me she was cleaning in there, so she sends me to another bathroom that's around the corner, around the way right there.
And then she came right there behind you and she just took off her clothes.
No,
bam!
that didn't
bam!
happen. That life is not a porno, Denise. That did not happen. No, but like literally, I was mumbling to myself just watching her. I was like, what the fuck? Like literally, like, have you ever seen somebody? Have you ever like seen a woman? And I'll talk to you. I ask you specifically about this because anybody can see this with anybody depending on who you're attracted to. If you're an ambivert, but the sexual version of it, which is bisexuality, I fucking. Have you ever seen a woman that is so fucking like retardedly hot?
Yeah.
Like retardedly sexy to the point where it's not like you're just like, oh wow, she was really attractive. I want to ask her out or I want to fuck her or whatever. To the point where you literally get instantly fucking horny just actually being around them. Because that's where I was at. I was shaking. I was literally shaking a little bit because I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
it made like this was literally probably the most objectively hottest fucking woman I have ever seen in my life.
For a cleaning lady. A cleaning lady.
I mean, I know a thing or two about cleaning ladies.
I know, but I'm saying though, it's just like, you don't expect them to look like that, cleaning ladies.
No, I mean sometimes they do. Sometimes they just do. This fucking ridiculously sexy Latino woman with her makeup and her body and just fucking ridiculously fat tits for like no reason.
Oh, she knows.
So I'm like,
she knows what she
got. I'm sure she did. Yeah. And so I was trying to drum up any excuse to talk to this woman, and the thing with me is that, like, I see a lot of really hot women in my day-to-day job, but I don't walk up to them or anything because I either just don't care enough or I just don't think, how do I talk to them? Not a matter of nervousness where I'm just like, oh God, okay, what do I say? I'm gonna talk to a woman. Like, no, like, it's because I'm like, what the fuck do I say to this person who I literally don't know? What is my excuse to speak to them? I'm like, how do I find a way to be able to do that? And this woman, I still didn't have much besides the two of us working there. But eventually, I was just like, I asked her, I'm like, I'm gonna be straight. Are you married? And because I noticed she had a ring, and she was like, no. Like, she shook her head. I'm just like, can I just be honest? You're probably, like, the most objectively hottest and sexiest woman.
You actually said this?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. I didn't know what else to do, man. That's the only thing. I'm a straight up guy. You know that. That's all I know how to fucking be with women.
Yeah. He's a Cuban. He's only got in one direction. That's it. You know, like, he's pretty straightforward. You know what I mean? Like, that's all Cubans.
Como se dice, yo no sé dirección. I don't know how to say it.
Cuban guys also, I've never heard them ever, like, be, like, circular with their talk. They're pretty straightforward with, like, how they speak.
Okay!
wait. So continue.
I'm out to get in the taxi. Where do you want to go? Where you want to go? Where you want to go, man?
We got some ice cream, you know?
I told you, man. It's okay, I'm Cuban. I can make these jokes. Anyway.
So what'd she say?
She was no, not like grossed out. Like, she was laughing in the flattered kind of way, but she was also just more focused on her job. Okay, like, she was walking from one place to another. Like, we wound up talking, and, like, you know when, like, you don't have a full conversation, you wind up talking to her on 4 separate times.
Yeah,
right? Because I was just there at this place, like, way longer than I was afterwards. Doing it, because she was going into different rooms and stuff like that. Like, she was focused on doing her job, and I was, like, eventually she went into the women's restroom. Obviously, I'm not going to follow her in there. That is fucking creepy. But at the same time, I literally told myself, this woman is so fucking unbelievably hot. To the point where I told myself, if I do not ask this woman out or, like, try to get her number, like, no matter what happens, whether she says yes or no,
it'll be something that, like,
I would have kicked the shit out of myself on the way home, especially for that long drive. I had to do it. And normally I don't give enough of a shit. Like, even if a woman is, like, attractive enough, I mean, I'll try. Like, I'll be, like, a little flirtatious, I guess, or whatever.
But your horny was being...
But I was so fucking horny at this point, literally from just having small talk with this woman, to the point where I'm like, I have to try. Like, I literally have to wait here and try. So I'm just staring at the vending machine that's in that little mess hall area that I was at, pretending that I was deciding to fucking order something. Like, do I want the Cheez-Its? Do I want the pretzels or whatever?
What a fucking loser.
I know, I was just waiting for this woman to just essentially walk out. And, like, she was taking a long time to walk out. But again, I'm like, you know, I got nothing to do. So I decided to do some calculations on my phone as to how much this particular company was going to pay me and stuff like that for this job, find out it was worth it. And long term, it wasn't worth it. They didn't have what I needed, so I wound up not taking the job later on down the line. But I was pretending to just be doing those calculations with the shit connection that I had in that place. And this is why I'm gonna have to censor the name of what this actual company was, because in the actual mess hall area where I was, right, that's when I saw it. It's a little skitter running across the ground. Like, was that a live thing going on right there? It was a mouse. There was a mouse on the floor running around doing his thing, and I was like, whoa. I've never seen a mouse like that before, like, running around. So I go to follow it, right? Because I'm just like, was that an actual, like, mouse? And then I turn to my left, and I will actually, I guess I'll send you this picture right now. just so you can sort of see it, because I turned to the left into the corner, right? Like, in between where, like, a sink and, like, a little vending machine, like a little crevice, right? And, there was a mouse trap. So yeah, this place, no, it had mice, and they knew they had mice. Like, straight up. Here, like, look at your Discord right now. There it is. I just straight up saw that little mouse trap tucked into the corner. So I'm like, this place has fucking mice. So then this employee, this older gentleman, walks near me, and I'm like, oh, excuse me, sir. Like, just striking up conversation or whatever. I'm just like, I'm sure you know that. Do you work here? He's like, yeah, I work here. What's up? I'm sure you already know this, my friend, but, like, you know you got, like, a mouse? You have a mouse running around? And he just goes like, oh, kid, we got fucking rats. And I was like, yo, no way, you got rats? Like, I rolled the R for, like, no reason. He's like, we got rats. You got rats? We got rats. And he goes, like, he gestures, and he's like, no, we got fucking rats. Like, we have a huge
football
one.
size.
We have a huge one somewhere on the way back there. I think he came here from, like, fucking Brooklyn. My jaw was dropped. I was like, bro, no way. I'm like, what the fuck is, like, a New York rat doing all the way down here? Like, how did he get here?
Housing's
like,
getting expensive, bro. They gotta move
like,
somewhere.
I was all the way down in, like, central Jersey. Like, I was farther down south. He's like, oh, I don't know, man, but we got him. I'm like, okay, thank you for letting me know. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, good luck, my friend. Thank you. And that, you might be thinking, like, what does this creepo little rata have to do with this fucking story of me talking to this cleaning lady?
Was that
final? Yeah. It
was the final nail, huh?
It was the final nail. Ah! Shout outs to Breaking Bad. That was my excuse, right? To talk to this woman. I'm like, I'm gonna tell her about the mouse. And so, like, when she came out of the bathroom, just like, hi, me again. Hi, how you doing?
And you, like, look down, like, a little.
You got a mouse, and she's like, she's got, like, a mouse. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you work here, so you already know. But I'm like, just letting you know, I saw a mouse around the corner over there, and she's like, show me. So, like, I took her to where the mouse was. It was in this area, and she's like, no problem, no big deal, and, like, her accent and stuff like that. So I walk with her, and, like, she's going back to the bathroom, like, all right, listen.
Oh.
I was like a fucking salesman, my dude. Like, it's like, I'm not, like, that's how I was trying to literally sell myself. And I looked good. I was already dressed for, like, an interview. I had, like, my white, like, I had, like, my white button-up shirt on, like, with the sleeves rolled up and everything like that. That's a Cuban thing, by the way. And, yeah. So I'm like, listen, I know you don't know me. And I have literally, you don't know nothing about me, so, like, I have nothing to offer you. But, like, listen, like I said earlier, you are literally probably the hottest woman I've ever fucking seen. And I'm just very forward, with, I'm just a very forward guy when I have to be right now. And you are honestly bringing that out in me in that kind of way. So honestly, like, forgive me if this is too forward, but, like, could I get your number? Or, like, could I potentially take you out sometime? Because, again, you are, like, probably one of the most breathtaking women I've ever seen in my life. Your boy got them digits with the swiftness of not 1,000 suns. It was more like 500 suns because I had to, like, sort of push myself in that way. So she gave me her number. I tell her my number in Spanish, and like, soy es cubano. She's like, oh, no, soy es dominicana. And, like, oh my god.
Damn, the Caribbean's mixing.
Oh yeah. So she gave me her number. No. She asked
foot.
for my. She asked.
Wait.
You good? Holy, what the fuck just happened there?
I lifted up my foot to, like, kind of place it on top of my leg, but then I hit, like, the bottom of my table.
Look,
so
Dennis,
hit, like,
I know you.
Little part right there just went like
Look, I know you have a foot fetish, Dennis, but don't interrupt my story.
Dude, you can't say shit until you fondle them titties. I don't even want to hear a fucking word out of you.
Whatever.
Fucking bitch boy.
Okay, that was straightforward.
I'm joking.
We'll talk about this later, young man. She didn't give me her number first. She took mine. Mm-hmm. And I gave her my number, but then she called me, like, in front of me, like, immediately. I didn't ask her to do that. Like, she called me in front of me immediately to show me that it was her number, and it was. Okay. And I got them. I'm just like, whatever. I'm like, I'll text you, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I did that. And lo, she did not respond to me after I texted her a few days later. I'm banking on one thing. English was not her first language. Mayhaps she just couldn't read it that well. I'm serious. Okay, I'm serious. Maybe she literally just couldn't even read it that well. So I'm gonna call her probably today or tomorrow at some point. I don't care what happens. I'm proud enough of myself that I was able to ask out a woman who was fucking so fucking far out of my league. And was able to get them digits with the swiftness. I hope that maybe she wasn't giving them to me just so I would leave her alone. I didn't try to force myself. Like, there was one point where she was standing in the closet and I was talking to her, and I backed up because I thought I was blocking the doorway. I'm like, oh shit, like, did I make you uncomfortable? She's like, no, it's all good, because obviously I don't want to make her uncomfortable. Don't want to block doorways. That's a big thing that women are very uncomfortable with. Never do that. That's a gross thing to do. And so I didn't. I'm just tall, so I take up a lot of space. I was doing it and I didn't even fucking realize. So, like, I'm like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. And then didn't want to make her trapped or uncomfortable, which is why I just asked her for her number and stuff. So I hope she didn't give it to me just to get me to fuck off. Either way, I don't care. I got the number of a woman who was that much sexier than me. And if that's all I got out of this job interview, then, which it seems like it clearly was, so be it. And I'm completely unequivocally fine with that. Like I said, I don't care what happens. I was proud enough of myself that I was able to literally, I had no excuse to talk to this woman. None. Like, actually fucking none. And I tried to make one, and then God intervened with a cripple little rata and let me know. And let me know to help. So, yeah, it's not even a matter of nervousness, because I wasn't that, I mean, I was nervous, but I wasn't so nervous to the point where I couldn't do anything. It's just, it's harder for me as an ambivert when I don't have an excuse to talk to a woman who I have the intention of asking out or whatever. I need that excuse, like an icebreaker, you know what I mean? That's what I need and what I struggle with sometimes.
Wait, quick question.
Yes.
Teacher. So is there a date on the way or what? Like, no,
like I said, I texted her and she didn't respond.
How many days ago was this?
It was like a couple of days ago. Like, I think it was on Thursday. So, Thursday or Friday, I don't remember. So, it was a couple of days ago. So, you know. My friend told me to ask for her Instagram because apparently Instagram is the new fucking Tinder. Like, that's, like, unfortunately, people do.
Instagram is their new phone number. That's the thing. Yeah. Back in the day, it used to be that, oh, yeah, can I get your number? And nowadays, from what I've even heard from, a lot of people actually don't even use, like, let's say an iPhone or like Samsung's like messages app to actually message. Like, they would use other apps like WhatsApp. And then also for Instagram, for people who, let's say, like, they just met. Like, Instagram DMs is like the new texting that it's replaced texting now.
So,
like,
so what you're saying is I really do need to make a fun, because you know me, I've only ever been with older women. Like, I vibe with them way more. Like, again, fun David fact for you all. I've literally never fucked a woman below the age of 30. I mean that. I haven't. And it's not even a matter of choosing not to. I haven't vibed with women my age that much. Older women are just, it's not even, because they're more experienced and better at sex. I just have an easier time talking to them. They're more mature. Like, I'll be straight up. I'm not good with girls. I'm good with women. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good with ones who fucking know what they want, who are straight up, who don't play fucking games. I literally have Asperger's, man. That's a form of autism. I don't know how to play those fucking dipshit ass, dumbass, fucking gay little social games. And, so that's why I never vibed. And so you telling me that actually means a lot. You know, as far as, like, knowing, like, I guess I really do just need to make a private Instagram if I want to fucking get laid or whatever, so. Or just, like, date or whatever, because I wasn't dating for a long time, but now I'm ready. So, got this woman's number. Maybe I'll call her, ask for her Insta, work on my Spanish, you know, whatever. But point is, I did that and I was proud of myself. You know, like, I was able to just do that thing. I didn't feel like I was forcing myself. Like I said, it was one of those situations where this woman was so fucking sexy. Yeah. I had to at least try. I had to try. Like, nervousness be damned, I had to at least try. So and I'm glad I did.
And I'm very
even if she said no, I would have been glad that I did. You know, like, I would have been like, at least I fucking tried.
So it's like,
you know what I mean?
But,
like, I was fully prepared for her to be like, oh, I don't know you like that. I'm sorry, man. You know?
Because here's the thing. Like, this is, like, I know, like, some people may call me sexist for this, but for us at least, we're built for rejection. Because, like, we literally go out, and, like, because at least asking out girls in that classical way, we're always at least going in knowing that, oh, there's a chance that she'll probably just brush me off, and then, okay, like, thing that I shot my shot, and then that's it. But
there are women that I've rejected that still hate me for it.
That's why.
I'm not going to lie to you.
That's why I'm saying women aren't built for rejection. Biologically speaking, they're just not built for it. And even upbringing-wise, they're not up for it. They're just not, they're not built for it. Like, because for us at least, we are built to be a bit stubborn. We, like, think essentially, like, because for some people, rejection, like, from just one time is enough to destroy them, like, entirely. Because this, like, just, you know, when they go to shoot their shot, like, they think, oh, that's it. Like, they just already have this, like, doomsday sort of, like, kind of attitude. Yeah. But the older you get, though, the more you shoot your shot, you're just like, all right. You know, I shot my shot, like, think, fuck it, like, think, on to the next one, or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, that's why, yeah. But, like, that's why I'm saying, at least, like, you know, when it's that, another thing to add, I guess, is just that, like, you know, like, the older, like, we get, right?
Yeah.
That whole dating game, like, what you did doesn't happen too often, my man. And
no, I know. Like, you
and
know,
another,
I'm they just being that straightforward. Being like, listen, you're really fucking hot. Can I smash? And that was it. That was all I had to say.
And not to mention, like kids that are getting older now, they can't do that. It's almost virtually impossible. They can't do it.
Well, I mean, when they're being raised by the internet, and they learn to just slide into people's DMs and that's it. It's
that,
like,
and also because they keep all of almost their social contact among their own close friends, and they really, I almost feel like nowadays they don't let any other person in. They don't like it when strangers talk to them. And personally, for me too, I don't really like it when people randomly come up to me and say hey yo blah 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 blah, it's hey just try.
Dude, sometimes I don't like it when people I know come up to me.
That's what I'm saying.
To me.
It's that's why I'm saying when it comes to at least the crazy amount of social interaction we do, it's among our own circle.
Yeah.
We don't let newcomers come in that often, and it's also at least is what I'm saying, that when it comes to what you did, one, it took balls, and two, you don't see it that often. David, look at me.
I was just checking my phone for a second. I was listening. I was only checking my phone for a second.
I thought
you didn't lose me. I was listening. You were talking about carrots, right? We were talking about how good carrots are for you, right? No, and how good they are for your eyesight. Yeah. So I'm going on about carrots.
It's just the way you perked your head up. It's like, huh?
Huh?
It's like, whenever, when you were in the classroom and you just weren't paying attention to whatever the fuck the teacher was saying for 15 minutes. And they're like, David. And you're like, huh?
Huh? Well, I hope you were looking up the answer to the problem on the board, which you're going to solve for the class.
Is it your mom?
And the whole class, detention for 2 fucking weeks, but it was worth it, my guy.
Dude, I wish I could have acted out more like that in school and got detention. Because honestly, high school didn't mean shit in the end, anyways. It really didn't. I wish I could have gotten more detention. I wish. Not that I would have wanted to start fights. I was about to say, I wish I could start more fights. No, I would have gotten bodied.
Me too. Me too.
But going back to this,
going back,
and you said she was a bit older too, right?
She looked like she was.
Okay,
she had
a bit older than you.
Late 20s, probably at the youngest. Early 30s, mayhaps. Mid 30s is what she really looked like.
Good lord, and she's a cleaning lady.
I don't know what's wrong.
No. It's just because from how you describe me, I'm like, bitch, why is she on OnlyFans? What the fuck?
Maybe she is.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. We don't know, but I'm just damn, of all the choices you could have had as a second job. Not that I'm saying that you should have done stripping or whatever, but it's kind of damn, you picked because cleaning is especially at least for big spaces like a warehouse, it's that's a lot of manual labor you gotta do. It is,
but if she has OnlyFans and is also a cleaning lady's probably part-time. So it actually gives her enough time to make OnlyFans content, assuming she even has ones, which she was way hot, 10 times hot enough to the point where she could have. But yeah, I mean, is it really a societal thing, in that way? I think that's part of one of many reasons that, women, feminism developed in the way that it did, besides the fact that women used to not be able to fucking vote in this country, among many things.
Or just do anything.
Or literally do anything, but, besides many reasons. But I, in that sense, like I said, I do have women, I do know a woman who I did reject for reasons, and
she still hates you.
In that way, I think she still hates me for it. I don't know what the situation is really. I don't care if she hasn't been in my life for years.
Because you damaged her fucking ego. And for us, our egos are already shattered. Our egos get shattered every fucking day, man.
But I do think that is something that gets better with older women again who know
No, but that's why I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Girls,
older women
who will go after
you.
I'm saying young girls, they can't deal with that shit. Women, sure, yeah, because obviously the older you get, you're getting more experience. But if you're a fucking 22-year-old girl getting rejected, that crushes them, honestly. For guys at 22, we've been rejected 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
Honestly, we know what it feels like, and we are so dull to it. And also another thing I wanted to add.
Women don't ask out guys as often, and I think that maybe that's part of the reason for it.
And also, if I saw girls let's say asking out guys more often, I'm what the fuck you playing at? I would honestly be a little just what the fuck are you doing? That is, hey, that shit's supposed to be what we do. If I started to see a shift coming that was if the shift was a bit a big one. But another thing I wanted to add too, at least before guys, we're gonna be ending this one just a little bit early because we're gonna be trying something a little different when it comes to our fucking run times over here, because you guys' attention spans are that of a fucking flea. But so real quick, for David's circumstances, right? Him going to ask out that woman, her working. Usually, like typically when I'm working and someone's talking to me, and if I'm like kind of like not really getting into it, but at least like I'm trying to just do my work and stuff, it's just kind of like, oh, like, you know, just go the fuck away, right? But then in another circumstance, if let's say David was at the gym, right? And he was trying to like, let's say, talk up this girl or talk up this woman that was like, you know, working out like furiously, right? Like she's just going fucking at it. Like sweat is dripping down and everything, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something real quick. At a gym, don't ever talk to nobody. Don't ever go up to them when they're like, like, you know, just sweating bullets. Like they look as if like, you know, if anyone here has gone to a gym even once in their life, like they all know, like, you know, what the fuck, like, you know, everyone looks and sounds like when they're just doing like an obscene workout. And David, you fucking did Ring Fit as avidly as you possibly could have until like, you know, like, you know, knocked out your back.
Until
so it's like,
shattered
you know,
my spine. Yes.
Yeah. So you know, like how like you feel and like look like after a workout. For women especially, I've seen, it's kind of nuts too, like seeing that was my phone. Sorry, I had my alarm for work. But I've seen like women like just going fucking like they on the machines and everything. And then once they're done, they're just like, you know how like people look after a workout? It does not look attractive. Like period. No. But that's why, like, dude, if David tried, let's say, like, just putting another circumstance, another scenario to it. If David tried to talk to this woman after she worked out like that hard, she would have told him to fuck off. Because like, because here's the thing, that woman in that circumstance, at least where David met her at the warehouse, she looked her best. She was dolled up. She wasn't really going too crazy with the cleaning that she was sweating. She looked fine. She looked presentable. For girls at the gym, they don't want anybody approaching them, period. I think even for me too, people in general at the gym don't want you to approach them. They don't even want you to look at him almost, because it's like, I look disgusting. Like when I'm working out.
They're working on their asses so they can pick the men they want.
That too.
You know?
It's like, here's the thing. Women and the stuff they work out, like stereotypically, is not the stuff that guys stereotypically work out. We do squats, but here's the thing. Guys don't do squats to make their ass look nice. We do squats because we want to do squats. There's like, because like everyone knows, like, you know, obviously working out certain things is going to make certain features on your body, like obviously, you know, more pronounced and more emphasized. And obviously, like, you know, for dudes classically, it's just we want, you know, bigger titties. I mean bigger chest. We want a bigger chest, like thing. Obviously, bigger arms. Like if we're just going by stereotypes alone, like that's kind of like what we're always like sort of looking to emphasize more.
Yeah. Everybody has their own reasons.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own reasons for working out and doing the things that they do.
Sometimes it's for vanity. Sometimes it's for self-improvement. I'm saying like it's all those reasons, like thing that, you know, it's, I'm not saying you got to have one or the other, or like you only can, if they're mutually exclusive or whatever. Yeah. But it's kind of like, you know, everyone's got a different reason for working out, and there are people who literally just work out for just to improve their aesthetics. They just
like
want
you said with
to
women,
like, look great.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Looking good and really about feeling good as well. Like I mean, at the end of the day, it is about the individual person. Like we don't want to go like full sexism mode here, but with the way that society, way that place that society is like socially, and I'm not even talking about from a naturistic standpoint. Like you see like peacocks or whatever male peacocks doing dances for the females to try to get them to attract the other. By nature, it's not the other way around. And I'm not saying that's why women aren't allowed to ask men out. Like, look at the peacocks, you dumb bitch. Like, you can't ask people out because the peacocks don't. That's not what I'm fucking saying. And like, you can ask out guys all you want. It's up to you. But, you know, from, I guess, like a social standpoint, there are these fucking stigmas and shit that's saying like, oh, woman can't do that, or women aren't built for that. And, you know, sometimes as untrue as those stigmas are, they become true because of the way that they're spoken about and the way that they're just sort of enforced. They become like self-fulfilling prophecies because you have like some stuck-up person saying like, a woman can't do that. A woman asking out a man, that's tacky. And it was tacky, considered tacky for years in like our parents' generations and stuff. Now you have more and more people doing that. But at the same time, because of all that ingraining, like Dennis mentioned, I will be honest for a sec, women don't usually ask out guys as much, and I'm not saying it's a feminism thing because they don't need a man or whatever like that.
It's just what it is, though.
It's because, and I gotta say from my own experience as well in rejecting some women, they're not as they really sometimes they're not as good at it in that way. Man. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of guys who aren't resilient as well. Like again, look at these fucking school shooters and shit. There's sometimes where they feel like they're the unpopular kid and like the girl didn't notice me or whatever just because they were too much of a fucking pussy to even speak to her or like learn any basic social skills, or they were brought up wrong among many things. Which is why I think men need to learn to deal with their emotions better, and it's important that men, you know, talk about their stuff instead of just bottling it all up, you know? So, like I said, you know, it's a lot of those like negative stereotypes or whatever. Some of them can become self-fulfilling prophecies because of the way that they're spoken about, you know. So that's just how it be. So I'm not like, if you're a woman, you like a guy and you got the balls to ask him out, fucking do it. Don't be like, don't listen to us and be like, oh, a woman can't like ask out a guy.
I never said you can't. I'm just saying
I didn't mean
like,
it like
you
that.
guys.
I phrased that wrong. I'm sorry.
Historically speaking, you guys just aren't built for rejection like that. You guys aren't. Because here's the thing, you know. Especially, it's even funnier though, like when it's like an obscenely hot girl who gets rejected. It's like they just cannot take that fucking loss. I don't know what it is.
It's a lot of them do, because sometimes it's actually the most attractive women who don't get asked out the most because guys get scared. Mm-hmm. That's how it is. Yeah. Full vanity simulator. Be like David. Be like David. Ask out the sexy cleaning lady that is way out of you. You never know. She gave me her number, dude.
But here's the thing. Here's a couple things though. David, some things you guys, your virgins out there, need to fucking keep in mind.
Oh my God.
David looked presentable. He looked nice. He looked nice and clean cut. He was there for a fucking interview. He was wearing a nice shirt. Don't fucking go up to women with your shitty ass Nintendo 64 t-shirt.
I was gonna say, like with the Zelda fucking, like with the Zelda green tee and the cargo shorts.
Yeah, like you know, you gotta look the part. Is what I'm saying. You gotta look like someone she wants to fuck. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's into Yoshi. I don't know. Maybe you wear like a Yoshi shirt. She's just like, oh my God, I fucking love Yoshi.
What that tongue do?
But I digress. What I'm just saying.
Yeah.
In conclusion, if y'all want to get that girl that clearly is out of your league, because here's the thing, it happens. It does happen. Yeah. You just gotta a couple things actually, but one, look presentable. Two, wash, like don't smell. Get some fucking like, you know, actual hygiene, like, you know, going, like take care of that. And three, learn how to talk.
Yeah, try to find some sort of icebreaker, some sort of excuse to talk to her, you know?
Just look at her shoes and be like, oh yeah, I like your shoelace. Just fucking say something.
But only the one on your left shoe. The one on the right looks a little dirtier to me, and like the one at the left looks like that one's real nice. You got a really nice left shoe.
I don't know. Maybe sometimes even just being full on crass is like sometimes works too. It's like, hey yo, you got some big titties, girl. Like, think I like that. And she'll just be like, what?
I mean, if you're at the club and everybody there is looking to like leave home with somebody, maybe that can work.
Dude, like, yeah, just that's a Hail Mary at that point. But you know, like, pretty much, yeah. But guys, we're ending it today. Because I got work in like at least at this point I have work in 25 minutes and I don't want to feel rushed when I'm fucking clocking in.
Exactly.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed hearing two guys who clearly get oceans of pussy every day talk about how to get women. But hey, look, listen.
It's been a minute for your boy.
But
he's not gonna lie. That's why he asks out women who are way out of his league.
Older women who are way out of his league.
Older women.
Or I think she was. I don't know. I don't care. You know, I don't care about that.
David likes MILFs. That's all you got to know.
Yeah.
Right? So for all the 0.023 MILFs that are listening to this podcast, like that you could possibly throw a bone to David over here.
Yeah, like as long as you're both like grown adults, like over the age of like fucking 22 or whatever, like I don't care about the age difference that much if you're just fucking like whatever. Just don't be diddling kids, you fucking sick fucks.
And then, guys, on that note, we'll be seeing you. And right before we go, obviously, here's our tags. We're gonna check us out. Sorry if my voice fucking sounds terrible because I've been sick with allergies. They came late this year, honestly. But yeah,
you gotta get clear, my guy.
No, I gotta like build up this like fucking thing. Like I don't know. I don't like taking allergy meds. Makes me feel weak.
Oh, big man, don't need no antihistamines.
Don't need that. Like that's so yeah, guys. Real quick. Check us out on Spotify, Google, Apple podcast. You can also check us out on our socials on Instagram and Twitter. I'm moving my hands around as if I'm presenting them on a fucking I literally am presenting
like a fucking TED talk.
Yeah. It's like guys, listen, like you know, as you can see, like you know, just getting like that little stick, like and pointing at each of one of them. But yeah, guys.
At Double D Pod on
At Double D
Twitter.
Pod as well. And
the Double D
also
Experience 21.
at 21 as well. And yeah, guys, that's going to be our episode for today. And hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next week. David, any thoughts?
In conclusion, Blossy. Place.
MILFs are god tier, bro.
Jake Sully betrayed his entire race for pussy. Bye! Lights off.